Okay, I've got a doozy of a video. Dave Ramsey. Some guy calls in, says he's got $22 million all rental real estate. Now, look, I've been telling you, this is the easiest thing in the world to do, but you got to buy at the right valuations. And, in 2012, like I told you, the real estate was, half to quarter the price of what it had been. Interest rates were at all-time lows, but you use leverage, and it's hard to go wrong. You just don't over leverage. And here's a guy, no education, no formal education except for high school, and was a poor student in high school. And I'm going to tell you right now, I do not have a 4-year degree. I rose up through the ranks in an engineering company to a very senior engineer, but I only went to technical school, year and a half technical school, and I started working. I've been working my whole life, and I followed what this guy did, but just not to the extreme. So I want you to listen to this. This is an amazing story, and it really catches Dave Ramsey off guard. Because Dave is really Mr. Mutual Fund and ETFs. He doesn't get out into these other things, and he doesn't understand the power of leverage.
Dell is with us in Kansas City. Hi, Dell. How are you?
Dave, this is a thrill. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Certainly. And what is your net worth?
Well, Dave, I am 53 years old, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, but I am worth about $22 million.
Goodness gracious. Okay, break that down for me, the big numbers.
Dave, 98% probably is in real estate. When I was about 22 years old, I started buying income-producing real estate, and I've stuck with it. I've learned it. I've learned everything about it, and I love it. I'm passionate about it. Every chance I get, I tell friends and family what I've done. I try to teach
So $20 million worth of real estate. What's the other $2 million?
My personal houses, which I guess is real estate, vehicles and, that kind of stuff.
So do you have retirement accounts of any kind?
Very minimal, probably $100,000 in some type of...
So it is truly a pure real estate portfolio. Wow.
It is.
Pretty cool. And what's your degree in?
Dave, I was lucky to get out of high school, and that is an honest... being honest there, I graduated in the very bottom of my class. I do have a couple years in junior college. I studied mostly business classes. And
what was your GPA in high school?
You know what? It's been 30-some years ago. I have no idea. But
low.
It was low. It was low.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. So I am guessing when I get to this debt question, you're going to tell me you did borrow money to create wealth, that you're going to say you borrowed money on this real estate.
Dave, I can tell you, when I started out buying real estate, I use creative financing. I never would have dreamt of buying automobiles or stereos or clothes or vacations with debt, but I have to say I did, and I still do today, buy income-producing real estate with debt, but I'm very careful about it.
Got it.
Again, I wouldn't
it's worked. I mean, you killed it. Your $22 million net worth is real at 53. So what's your highest household income year?
Oh, in the last couple years, my tax return is floating right about $1 million a year.
Okay, and that's rental income.
Yes, sir.
All right, hold on. When we come back from the break, I got a couple more questions for you. You're off the charts one here. You're an outlier, and I want to learn from you. This is pretty cool. Very nice. This is the Dave Ramsey. Talk to all kinds of millionaires who made their money in the music business, millionaires who are famous, millionaires who aren't, millionaires who borrowed money, millionaires who didn't, millionaires who bought new cars, millionaires who didn't, millionaires who graduated from high school, millionaires who have a PhD. We talk to all kinds of millionaires because all we care about is, you're a millionaire, how'd you do that? And even if it doesn't necessarily line up with Dave Ramsey says this or Chris Hogan says this, it doesn't matter. We're learning from real millionaires how they really did it. And Dell is in Kansas City. He really did it, buying real estate with debt, and has a $22 million net worth, which means if you have debt, that means your real estate's worth a lot more than that, right, Dell?
Yes, sir.
What's your real estate worth total?
Oh, shoot, I don't know, to be honest with you. My debt's about $13 million, so...
Well, then that would be those two added together, right?
$1 million.
I mean, it would be $35 million, right?
Yes.
Because 35 minus 13 is 22, if that's your net worth, right?
Yes, sir.
Unless I'm missing something. Okay. So you did creative financing, and you've got a little bit of debt, but your debt is less than 30% of your net worth. You have a 70% equity position, right?
Yes, that's true.
Has it always been that way, or have you worked up to that?
I worked up to that. When I first started, I'd put down I was broke, so I'd put down the least amount of possible. I'd buy a little single-family house and rent it for the most possible. I'd work on the darn thing, and a couple years later, I'd refinance, take that cash, and I'd buy something bigger. So these days, I strictly buy high-rise type apartment buildings. No more single-family stuff. I'm hands-on. I work 40 or 50 hours a week. I have a great team behind me, a team of an attorney, an accountant, a realtor, and architect. I treat them good. I pay their bills on time. I give them referrals, and in turn, they treat me good.
How much money of this $22 million did you inherit?
Not a penny, not a penny.
Okay, cool.
I think I'm a true rags to riches type of guy. I come from what I would call a poor family, I guess. My family wasn't in real estate, and when I started, that was pre-internet. So I educated myself by going to the library. I'd read real estate books. I'd read them over and over and over, and it just clicked with me, Dave. And I had what I call my light bulb moment. I had some goals I wanted to reach, and one day a light bulb went off, and I thought, aha, real estate is how I'm going to achieve these goals. And I was always big about making written goals. I always say if your goal's not written, it's a dream. And I wanted goals. And when I was in my 20s, I said, I'm going to meet these goals. And I did it, and I haven't looked back. And I'm still to this day passionate about real estate. I love to talk about it. I love to, teach my friends about it.
Chris, there's that intentionality we were talking about again.
It really is.
The written goal, the laser focus.
And going in and reading, Dave, he's pursuing knowledge.
Is that what you would tell people now, Dell, if you were talking to a millennial and they said, oh, you can't be a millionaire now, you have to inherit all your money? What would you tell them?
Dave, I would tell them to get some written goals. I would tell them to find what they're passionate about. I would tell them to learn everything they can about that and to not stop learning. I would tell them to build that team. I would tell them to live today like nobody, so that tomorrow, you know the rest of it.
That sounds familiar, Dale.
Live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else. Way to go, Dale. Congratulations.
So let me tell you, there are just some very basic concepts about investing in real estate, and I've put several videos about this, and this is going to go under life lessons. You need to realize that this is a huge opportunity. Now, maybe not right at this moment, but you need to be prepared when things correct, because everything goes in cycles. I've talked about it before. What's happened before has happened before. So you can get in at excellent entry points, just like in the stock market. You can buy dividend stocks, but I wouldn't buy them now. I would wait. And so get your powder dry, because there's going to be times, and can you imagine this guy, $1 million a year income from rentals. So the biggest thing I look at is just trying to find the proper valuation so that you can get the proper rents and make the rents no more than double your expenses. Your rents have to be double your expenses. That's the minimum. If you can't meet that, it's not the right valuation. All right, so anyways, I wanted to get this in front of you because it happens. And this is not wealth that's transferred down. These are people that work their butts off to be able to get there. And, the last several months, I've had some hard months because I had people that have been in places for 5 years, and it took a little bit of work to bring them back up, but now they're there, and I'm going to get probably 10 years of rent now. Some of these people are going to be there for 10 plus years. I got one guy that's probably going to be there until he dies. And it's just, most people can't comprehend the fact that there are certain people that are just going to rent their whole life. And that is the type of tenants you want, because again, it's guaranteed income. You're going to be able to pay your bills. All you got to do is pass on your costs. When the taxes go up, the insurance goes up, you have to be able to pass that on. So there has to be yearly increases. It doesn't have to be much. It could be 5 to 7%. But the idea is to protect you so that you're not losing money, you're not going backwards. So anyways, I think this is an important video. You need to hear this, that there's people out there that every day, every month, they're hustling to be able to, grow their wealth. And it's not hard. Here's a guy, no formal education. 2 years, kind of like me, I just went through 2 years and became his own boss. And, you don't have to work for someone. This is the Robert Kiyosaki method. He talks about this. There's all kinds of books that go through this. And all right, I hope you're having a great day. I hope everybody's treating you well. Do the best you can. God bless.